It's been over 4 years since the slaying of Florida rapper xxxtentacion, and his death has left many people wondering questions such as why did this happen, was he set up, was he a sacrifice, and who were the killers, and the list of questions continues. Now, there has been some recent shocking news about this case, but first let me break it down for those who aren't up to date. Now, X was a part of this rap group called Members Only, which included Ski Master Slump God, DJ Scheme, Kid Trunks, who's a dumbass who basically lied to the entire world about having cancer just to promote a rap career, and a bunch of other people. Now, the group was basically divided amongst X's passing, so basically over the years the leader has basically died, of course, so members had to start their own solo careers, with Ski Master Slump God having the most successful career, of course. On June 18th, 2018, X was gaining some serious success in his musical career and wanted to reward himself for his hard work and upgrade his ride. So he withdrew over $50,000 to purchase a new motorcycle, and on this same day around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, he arrived at the Riva motorcycle dealership to make the purchase. So the story goes, X left the dealership in a BMW i8 and he was being followed by an SUV that basically blocked off the way when he was trying to leave the parking lot. They hopped out with guns, of course, to rob him, and X complied. He gave up the bread, he gave up the goods, and it still wasn't enough for them. They still shot him multiple times in the neck and killed him. The alleged killer actually walked in the store while X was in there shopping for a motorcycle, spotted it out, saw him in there, and walked out preparing to kill him when X was ready to leave. Now, there were speculations by X's sister that his murder was indeed a setup. Now, by analyzing and looking at the sequence of events leading up to the murder, I believe it was too. Now, X went to withdraw a large sum of money in the bank, keyword large sum of money, and the killers recognized his car and followed him from the bank to the Riva dealership, where he was going through the whole process of buying a motorcycle, which he didn't end up doing, of course, and as soon as he was leaving, turning onto the main road, of course, he got blocked in and rushed by two of the guys. He emptied up the goods, gave up the bread, and they still wanted his life. What more can you give, man? You give what you want, they get it, and they still want to kill you over what? Now, this is a prime example of paying attention to your circle before they hurt you. The way how they knew what bank he was at, the car he was driving, BMW i8, and the timing of all these activities, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, this all leads me to believe this was premeditated, this was prepared. Someone in his circle sold him out because this was a setup, and I refuse to believe nothing other than this. Now, the whole purpose of this video is to address the suspects in X's murder, as there are 4 of them who were responsible for his death. Now, the 4 people involved were Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, Trayvon Newsome, and Robert Allen. Now, Robert Allen is the biggest suspect in this case, physically and also to the news side, because he's actually doing something that is very controversial when it comes to the street life and street activities. Now, just like Boosie Bada said, it's pretty hard to shake a crate with 28 eggs in it and hope none of them crack. It's the same situation here, even with 4. Now, I'm sure you can assume what I'm insinuating by this reference. The 4th suspect, Robert Allen, has agreed to take a plea deal which involves him cooperating and snitching on his other 3 accomplices who were involved with him in the crime, which will give him less time in jail, of course. Now, 4 of these guys, I guess 3 now that he snitched on the 3 of them, are easily facing over 15 years in prison for murder and aggravated assault. Now, I'm going to keep it 1,000, right? Now, my goal right now isn't to play judge or jury, but to point out the expressions I've been hearing frequently. There is no honor amongst thieves, and you can't expect respectful behavior from disrespectful people. Now, many people are saying he folded for a Happy Meal, or a 2 for $7 Whopper, or a 4 for $4 from Wendy's, and they cut the burger straight down the middle, or whatever the case may be, right? He cooperated to save his own ass. Now, his lawyer, Jim Lewis, actually made a statement saying, Mr. Allen entered a guilty plea this morning in the murder death of xxxtentacion. He pleaded guilty to a lesser included offense of second-degree murder and robbery with a firearm. He still faces a life sentence. Obviously, we're hoping for better than that, but his sentence is deferred, and it is likely he will be called as a witness in the case against the other 3 co-defendants. Now, I'm aware of the effect X had on the people. Now, I'm also aware of the person he was. So my real question is, does this suspect turning on his accomplices provide closure to the friends and family of X, or the fans who are closely bonded to his music? Or are the diehard X fans still hoping and rooting that these 4 suspects get the life sentence? I feel like in hip hop and rap, this genre of music seems to instill the most violence. I understand that X's death was just a cruel act of envy and greed, considering they wanted his money, he gave them the money and they still killed him, but I still feel like it's a never-ending cycle of another dead, famous rapper. Now a year later after this, we saw the Nipsey Hussle murder, which happened in his own neighborhood where he had an own store in this community at Slauson and Crenshaw Boulevard in California. Now this is a prime example of someone who was loved by the community. They were a prolific advocate, they gave to their community, they did everything that they need to be appreciated and benefit other people, and someone just still had so much hate for them and felt that they need to remove him from this earth. Now it's safe to say, everybody who smiles in your face ain't your friend. And we saw this here as a close person that Nipsey Hussle also knew, put him in harm's way and hurt him. Now let's talk the facts, right? The way how social media, surveillance footage, CCTV, whatever you want to call it, is being used to crack down on crime is insane. Now I saw the video of the altercation between X and the guys. They had their face covered, they were no face, no case, hopped out and robbed him, and they're wearing all black of course, and nothing could really see and identify who they were. And it's like, how much no face, no case can you be? And they still find a way to identify the suspects. Now I was looking on Reddit to see how many people felt this way about the guy testifying and the whole snitching thing, and people had a lot to say, and here's what people had to say. Imagine taking life in prison for 50K split 4 to 5 ways, LOL. X was about to change the music industry for good, and the rich tycoons that run the music industry didn't like the change he was bringing. Y'all ever seen the video of X where he's talking about how people need to watch what frequency they're listening to? He's talking about the healing frequency. He goes on about what I feel that has a part in it as well. Especially if you look into healing frequencies and other frequencies and what they do to your actual body. Some frequencies will actually make you sick, as if you caught a cold, look it up. Like I said, this issue is way deeper than just 4 or 5 guys trying to rob X 50K. Open your mind. And the last one said, not surprised, LOL. Imagine you're about to do life for sitting in the back seat. Talking about the guy Robert Allen, who actually didn't even hop out the whip. He was just in the wrong place, wrong time, and got caught up, and now he's snitching on the guys to avoid the hefty sentence.